Good morning and sliding into afternoon. See if I can slide back a little bit too. Judy Allen here in San Antonio, Texas. And today we're going to be making three beautiful, simple cards. Pretty much monochromatic. Monochromatic can be very elegant in itself. As well as we're going to start simple and step it up. And we're going to be using Wonderful World, which is in the Celebration catalog, as a freebie that goes away at the end of August. So it's very beautiful, detailed, and I want to show you how that works. So with that, let's go down the hands and let's get started. All right, so this is a stamp set we're using. I have to tell you, this is very detailed, very detailed, and you'll see it as we stamp how detailed the flowers are when you stamp with this. And we just set it aside. And then these are some tools I've used quite often. They're little templates that I've done with measurements. So I'm gonna show you how I use that for a layout. And I did the same thing with here. Just using templates to help me get my design going. You know, because I know what I want to do sometimes, but then it's like, okay, what else do I need to do for it? So let's go with the simple. All right. So the simple here is, let's take this all out. We're just gonna simply stamp. And we're going to stamp the flower on here. I'm showing you pieces because I'm going to show you what I did. And we can make some decisions here. Hello, Jennifer. We're going to stamp a flower. The first one we're going to do is a rose. It's so good to see you, Jennifer. I don't know if you saw or not, but or for any of you, if you haven't seen it yet, on Friday on Teach Me Nana, Sophia was live with Nana, and I have to watch this just a second. And anyway, we did Teach Me Nana, and you know, she's 5 years old, and it was so much fun. We don't get to do that very often since she lives out of town. But if you get a chance to check it out, because we had way too much fun. Now I want you to see how the detail here. This is what this stamp does. It does all that little detail. A lot of detail, and that's what you'll see in this particular stamp set. These are the clean stamps. But I want to show you that because it looks like you've just literally taken a real flower and we've just put it on there, right? Okay, so so this one's real simple, right? We're not going to do anything overboard. It's about keeping it simple. We start off with a 3x3. Thank you to some of my special friends and family members that like the 3x3s. I'll take this off a second. Put two stamps on here, which is fine until I need to do this part. Okay, and this is simple stamping, right? That's all we're going to do. And basically, that's all we're going to do today. We're going to just do some simple stamping, and we're just going to add some light embellishments. Now for this one, let me clean that off. For this one, I'm going to actually add just the ribbon. But I left us with choices, right? And I'm just going to simply put this on with adhesive. It was cute. I had so much fun. Children, I love children. If you don't know that about me, I love children. I have always loved children. I could have been like The Sound of Music and had a bunch of kids. As long as you can't afford them and all that kind of stuff. You have to have a spouse that wants to have that many too. But I've always loved kids. I always have. Always have. And especially when they're related to you, right? And I'm just going to center this because I'm just keeping this really simple, just to show you how you can make just something simple and elegant and monochromatic. So the only other thing I'm doing is we have choices. As I did these little bows, I did this one here. It's a possibility, just nice and dainty. And I think I'm in that mode only because I've been doing a lot of cards. So what do you think? I really think I like the daintier one, but I'll definitely take some input. You can see this is bigger. To make this little one here, all I did was I literally took this ribbon and I cut it right down the middle. That's all I did. It's a beautiful ribbon. I could have done it any other way too. I could have just as easily done it like this, right? And then taken it and done something else and made a little bow on top of it. But I didn't want to. I want it to be simple and elegant. So it's just a matter of doing a real teeny tiny bow that we can move up. I would definitely put it down there. I think I'm just going to use a tinier one. This one could go just as well, but it just seems so small and elegant. I just want to do that. Alright, so let's get this on here. We're just going to use it with a glue dot. And I saw somebody do this the other day, and I'm going to see if I can do it. don't know if I can or can't. They literally took their pick tool, literally reversed it like this, and I just got the glue dot off of this here. Let's see if I can do that or not. Never tried that before. And I might not try it again either. Alright, we'll see. We shall see. So we're just going to put it on the back of this bow so it'll stick really nice. You like the smaller one too. Alright, there we go. And I'm just going to put it right there. And then it's just a matter of trimming it, right? I'll trim the edges so it can go into an envelope with no problem. And this way too. Just try to always get my angles the same, right? Okay. There we go. We got a very simple, elegant little card, right, to give to somebody. So I do already have plans for the cards I'm making today. So let me set this one aside so we can go ahead and step it up, all right? So you can see what we're going to do to step it up. And I do have to put my stamp back on because we're going to use this stamp. I do that sometimes if it's easier for me. Okay, so this one we're going to use ribbon 2. And again, we're going to be monochromatic, but I just sort of change the colors, right? And this one here is called, what color are you? This is called Orchid Oasis. And so all I'm going to do is fold my cardstock in half. You know, sometimes people think you can't do anything with monochromatic. You can do a lot with monochromatic, right? It might be the simple matter of adding ribbon, bling, or whatever you want to do. So again, this one though, I'm going to actually do the stamp off. I'd actually tried this a little bit earlier, and I can show you what I did. Here's what it looks like when you do the first one, and here's the stamp off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the stamp off because I wanted it just a little bit lighter, right? I just want to make sure my stamp is inked up. And then I'm going to stamp here first. And then I'm going to come here and stamp here like this. Alright? Just gives it a little bit softer look. It's still going to look very beautiful, right? It's not going to change that. And then we're going to do one other thing to stamp this up. I'm going to use ribbon for starters, right? We're going to use ribbon. And then we're also going to use a punch. Now don't do like I do right now. I'm just sort of setting my stamps aside on something I can get away with instead of opening and closing my box. So it's one of those things, don't do as I do. Alright, see how that's going to really pop? We're going to put it up on dimensionals, and we're going to put something ribbon on here too. But in addition to that, I'm going to go ahead and round these edges. So this is a punch. And all I'm going to do is, that's all I got to do. And look how it rounds those edges. So I'm going to do this, all of this here. And I'm going to do it on the last card as well too, just to show you some different looks. Now the other thing I'm going to do, you see how just little punches there. And then I'm just going to turn around and I'm going to repunch it with this design. So I'm not really having to do anything other than punch, right? And it's just going to give it a little extra elegance. And you just sort of punch it in the center, it goes through just fine. And I'll get all that little stuff out of the way, confetti. Alright, so I'm going to take my ribbon. And I'm just going to wrap it around a couple of times. Now I could leave this frayed on the end, which is sort of a nice look too. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I'm just going to leave a little extra here. And I'm just going to wrap this around a couple of times. Okay? I'm just giving it a little extra bling from the ribbon. And this ribbon's got shimmer, so that really makes it nice too. And I'm just going to do it like over here, and I can mess with it from there. And I'll give myself a little extra play with. Alright, got beautiful ribbon collecting over here too. So I'm just giving myself a little extra room to play with here, and that's it, right? And then we can turn around and put it up on dimensionals, and put, I'll put a tag on here as well. Let's see if I can get this to keep still a second for me. This is very, very, as you can tell, it's thin ribbon and it's delicate ribbon. And what I like about it is you can fray it real easy, right? And it always gives such a nice little extra touch when you can do that. Oh, okay. I thought I tied that. I did not. Okay, we'll do that again. And if that doesn't work, then guess what? I'll just take the ribbon off, get some more ribbon, and we'll redo. How about that? Okay, let's see if we got it this time. Okay, yeah, we did. Alright. So we're just putting some ribbon here just to give it a little extra bling there. And we're going to put it up on dimensionals. And then we'll put a tag down here. And then that's going to be it. Alright? I've got my dimensionals right here. Just something simple, something elegant. Now I'm going to put it up on top, right? Because the fact is, I'm going to put one down here because I also want to keep this above right there. And I'll keep it from moving around down there. And I'm just going to put it up here like this because now we have to do, I'm going to put it down yet because we've got to come up with a tag. And I actually pulled out several of these. I thought this was very nice. Right? You can easily go with that. And then I got one a little bit bigger. Let's see here. For me, I have a stash of tags. This one might be too big. So when I sit there, somebody asked the other day, about making all these. I said, you know what? I sit there, it's very simple. When I sit there and make a tag, I make more than one, right? If I'm going to punch or die cut, I'm going to make more than one. Just because I've got the equipment out. So we have choices here. And we have a choice of this right here. Ooh, I sort of like that one. I didn't think I was going to like that one. But actually, I sort of like that one. Just sort of nice and to the point. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that stamped on here. And I'm doing these all just for you because I have thank you notes that I owe some people. And so we can talk about if we want to sit there and add some coordinating bling or not. I'm using coordinating color though, right? I didn't have to. I could just as easily use the dark gray. I could have easily used black. So I'm keeping it about as monochromatic as I can, right? Using our neutral colors like white, or the other one I'm going to use is very vanilla. Okay, so I'll put this up on dimensionals too. Now the nice thing about this is I can easily add bling to this, right? And I didn't anchor it down yet because I just wanted to make sure I got the look of where I want everything. So I have this here, and I have this one right here. And I like it like that. So let me just go ahead and do that. And then the other thing I'm going to do is add some wink of Stella. Because wink of Stella always looks nice. And then we'll see if we want to add any other bling. So it's just keeping it monochromatic, right? Keeping it monochromatic. I think the flowers are so beautiful and detailed. Can't tell from where you're at. I assure you it's very detailed. And I'm just going to put it right here. Because I was going so soft on what I was doing today, I think that's mainly because I've been doing so much Christmas type stuff and Halloween stuff that was just sort of nice to do something nice and soft today. It's easy to sit there and just separate the ribbon apart if you want to, right? Just give it an extra look. And I do like the frayed look, but I'm just going to trim it, right? And that would tell you fray it as much as you want because it frays real easy. So we're just going to fray this. It just gives a little extra something. And if you still think it's too long, then just trim it again, okay? That's all you got to do. And don't worry, I'll just keep on fraying for you. Alright, down here we're going to put some bling here, alright? But we're just going to keep it soft and simple. And I have some pearls here. And actually that's what I had planned on doing up here at the top. I was just going to sit up there and add some pearls. Just going to use a spatula here. I feel like I should be cooking, right? Alright, so I'm just going to use a spatula here. And what I was going to do is just dress this up. Did I lose it? Okay, I don't know where it went. Okay. Now actually, I'm just going to go over these little holes right here. I'm still monochromatic, right? Because the pearls are white. But it's just going to add a little something to it because we're stepping our card up, right, from our first card. So I am adding some embellishments that aren't too much, but they're not going to be too little either, right? And that's what it is about stepping it up, is you're adding something more. We punch this one out, we add some wink of Stella, I can go back and add wink of Stella to the other one. And then I'm just going to add a bigger pearl right down here. Okay, and there you go. We just got a simple, elegant card. We've kept it monochromatic. And what do you think? Just nice and simple. Add a few little touches, but still kept monochromatic. Alright, let's go down to our third card. Now, our third card is going to have a little bit more to it, because actually I've made it, but I wanted to, it's really hard deciding colors, right? And what I really wanted. So I actually just took my templates here that I have, and I just sort of laid it out so to get a feel for how it was going to look. And I don't know if you can see the layers, but you know, I do that. You can do them in different colors if you want to. I have mine just all in white. It's just to give me an idea of what size I want the paper to be. So I already know, we're just going to start off stamping first, because I already know I want the flower to go on here. And we're actually going to use this flower right here. I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty. And I'm going to stamp it in the first color I used, which was Blushing Bride. So any of these are easy to step up. We're going to step this one up also with some ribbon. But we're also going to do a little bit of cutting too. Okay. I'm just going to stamp this here. So what I have done, it says there's your look right there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut this, just to give it some dimension, just a different look, right? So what we're going to do, to close some of this up, is we're going to take this here. This is our cutter. And just so you know, somebody didn't realize the other day, there are actually, so we have numbers here in centimeters as well as inches. And then we also have numbers right here. This is our scoring, and this is our cutter. And then if you can't see, also right here, let's see if I can get a camera. See this here? This is a little mark here, so that you can actually, if I want to, and that's what I hadn't decided if I'm going to cut a square inside of something. And this allows me to do this because this allows me to go and cut inside something, and this little mark here will let me line up exactly wherever I want to cut, which is something we may do. I'm still thinking about it. So one of the things I'm going to do is, this is already, just so that you know, this is 4 inches long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come and take off. Let me turn the other way here so we can see how much I'm going to take off. I'm just going to clip it right below the flower, right there at the stem. Not the flower itself, but the stem. So that'll put my cutting at 1.5 inches. My techie would say, I'm most ready to write that down. 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to come, I'm going to take that 1.5 inch, and I'm just going to cut 1/4 inch. So I'm going to come down here and do it like this, and I'm going to cut at the 1 inch mark. Okay, so I've kept it all in the same place. Well, yeah, sort of. So I'm going to cut this at the 1 inch mark here. Okay, and you're going to see what this does. I always call it like a stained glass effect, but other people call it other things, which is fine. You know, it's what we're all different. So I'm just going to do this and put a little bit of distance in between each one of them, and it's just always easier to start at the top, start at the bottom, and I'm just going to give just a little bit edge of that pink, okay? Just enough to know that there's another color there. It's the same color as the flowers here, okay? So just enough to pick up a little bit of that color to give it sort of that stained glass look. Alright, and then I'm just going to put it down with adhesive, okay? Or I could put it up on dimensionals. You tell me. Let's see. That's what it looks like right now if I do that. I always tell people that if you want to know if something's going to look better on dimensionals, all you do is put it up like this and stick your dimensionals underneath and see what you think. Alright, I like the dimensionals. Okay, so let's go dimensionals. You know, it changes for me. Make the card yesterday and did it one way, and come today and we'll do it different. That's about normal. That is about normal. So we still have other choices because, right, we're making a card. So we're still, and this is going to be a layered card, right? So you don't know all the layers yet, but I can tell you it's going to be a layered card. And I just want to make sure enough of that shows at the top. I didn't want to do it on the side. I could have, but I didn't want to. And let's see if this is going. So you just want to do these so that the white doesn't show, and all you gotta do is make sure the top and bottom of the dimensional is flat, and that way it's hidden right nicely behind here. And then we'll get one on here too. So what's nice about this is we can also wrap this in ribbon, which is always sweet. All right, because we're going to do that. So let's get one thing done at a time. And we're just going to get this on here. So this is really easy, right? Just an easy, different way to do a design. And it's easy to add ribbon to it, because ribbon can easily go between the grooves and make it look like you didn't really have anything in between either. And we're just going to line up our stuff right there. There you go. So for the ribbon, now we have choices. I didn't know, ooh, I still like that ribbon. I do like those ribbons. I have to be careful sometimes because other stuff will look good too, right? So I could wrap ribbon around that, but it's going to go in there. And so therefore, if I'm going to do that, I might as well would just, see if I can get this back here. I might as well just go ahead and do it. So you know what I'm going to do with this? What I really, really like? I really like the way that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take a glue dot and put it on each end. This wasn't originally what I was going to use, but I really like that. Here's what I was originally going to use. You can tell me if you don't like it. Originally I was going to use this and I was going to fray it. Let's see what that would look like if I did that, just to give you a choice. It's all about choices, right? We can make the same card so many different ways, and it's going to look different. So if I had frayed this like I wanted to do originally, and I may change my mind, but I'm really liking that other ribbon that I cut in half. I was just going to fray it, right? Just give it a frayed look. Just, you can color this too. See how that just sort of gives it nice, and see I could just as easily put that right there. See if I could get away with both. My techie might say, nah, that's pushing the envelope, but it's pretty, right? Anyway you go, it's pretty. So I could do it either way, so it just depends how elegant you want to go. And I'm just, either way for me is elegant. You know, we all have our own definition of what we feel is elegant or not. But I just feel this is just wispy, and I really like that. So I like that as well too. And I could just as easily, let's see. I could just as easily, let me reach here. Which one? This one here? Like this here? This one? The one, you like the one with the gold here? Like this?
No, because we did like both of them together.
Oh, you liked both of them together? You liked both of them together like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Wow, okay. Alright, I was going to show you how I was going to color this. I'll do it in. No. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what you suggested, because I can hide this. You may not be able to see it because this is a very light color, and you can do this just as easily with a blending pen. I don't have a blending pen this color handy because I give them to my special peeps. They come to Nana's and they go, I want that. I go, yours, you own it. Okay, but see how I could easily, this is a cotton ribbon, so I could color this, right? But she actually likes this on the back, so we're going to stick with what she liked there. And let me get the color off my pen. So all I got to do is just, when you do this, just do your pen until you get all the color off, right? The reason why I do that is if I go to use this again, sometimes I remember to check it. And this has got a lot of color. And sometimes I forget, but I try to remember to, right? Because I don't want to blend my colors, because then it's not going to be what I thought it was going to be. So, alright, I'm going to use that old glue dot again. I might just go back to the way I was doing it before. And that is, I'll just take it like this. So she actually liked both ribbons, if I understood that correctly. Did I understand that correctly? There was a voice, and then the voice went away. Alright. That's just sort of how it is. It's a good thing the dog can't talk. Man, we'd really have some troubles around here. Okay, so yes, it's kind of at the stem, but that's okay, right? It's all about making a card. All right, so what she was saying is she really liked it with both, right? I got that. I could just as easily put it down the center too. All right, Tiger Lily, were you liking it on top and bottom both? I had a voice in my way.
What?
Yeah, so you commented how you liked this and you liked it with this here. So you originally when I was looking, I was doing top and bottom. Is that what you're looking like? I could just easily go down the middle. I mean, there's always choices.
No, I liked it on top.
You liked it on top? Did you like it on the bottom too?
No, just top.
She just wants it on the top. All right. Guess who's making the next card? Not really. But it's always good to tease one another, right? Because it's all about creating and sharing together. And I always appreciate feedback. And you know what? And I don't mind creating, starting one way and somebody goes, hey, I want you to do this or try this. I like it. Okay. So this is all we did. All I did is took that one ribbon, I cut it in half. And you can see how it just gives it a different look by cutting it in half. And I've got my way, right? So I have my ribbon I wanted, was going to do. And then I also have, let's come back here, make sure I get it better on the back because I didn't realize it's getting the fuzzy stuff on back. And then we're just going to do this here, which I like that too. And we're going to do it with a glue dot. So I am going to let some of this stuff here that I got it to frayed come over the top because that's just what makes it, right? So if you have to pull it over, pull it over. I'm going to put a glue dot on back of this. And for me, once it gets a certain length, I just am like done with it. It's like it needs to go shorter. So I just easily just put that there, pull it off. Okay, and I just want to make sure I got this positioned correctly, right? Because once I put it down with a glue dot, that is done. Not to say I couldn't get it off or change it, but it's just much easier if you get it the way you want it to begin with, right? Okay, so that just adds a little bit of gold to it with a very vanilla look. And I'll just trim this off. Nobody's going to know it's back here. And then so I have choices here, right? So I was deciding, originally I wanted to put it on this right here. And I wasn't sure if that was going to be too much, because you really can't tell what I did with the other and see the stuff in between where I cut that, which makes a very nice look. The other was that to put this on the pearlescence. So I put it on the pearlescence, it's still vanilla color, right? But it's got a sheen to it. Now, I don't know. You'll have to tell me if you think that's enough or not. I was going to put, so I brought two choices because, again, I couldn't make up my mind. So this can go down a couple of ways. So I'm actually going to sit up there and round those corners just like I did the other one. So it's either going to be like this with the rounded corners, which I think is very, very elegant on that paper. I'm not seeing as much as this color as I thought, but it's still there because I put it on dimensionals. The other would be is that I put this on this stock, and then I would turn around and put it here. So I'm already think I'm leaning toward the pearlescence because I really like the pearlescence. It looked like this. I'm going to go with the pearlescence. It's not every day I use pearlescence. And it's just got like such a nice sheen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do just like I did the other one. And if I don't like it, then I'm going to sit there and end up cutting another pearlescence. So let's just do this here. We're going to same thing. We're just going to round the corners first, right? And we could do any size paper. It's not limited to this. I could have taken the small piece there and done the same thing. Okay. And I'm just doing the same thing here. Now, the only thing you have to keep in mind is this little design when you punch this out does take space. Okay, so when you're doing this, you have to take into account if you're going to center this or you turn it sideways that you're still got enough space. All right, because that was the dilemma when I was doing my little templates and trying to figure it out. I had to sort of give myself a reminder that, you know, it's going to take up space. So if you want to be able to see it and you go through all the work of doing this, see, you want it to be able to see it. Now, again, you go back to the same thing. Are we going to put it up on dimensionals? Which I like that. And it would be like that. Or go flat. Now see, I can pick up the elegance more, the flowers, if I go flat than the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and do this before anybody says anything else. Now, one thought that I had is that I could have just as easily, and I don't know, I might just even ask you that, I could actually cut out a rectangle in the center of this. And that was the other thought that I had. I could actually cut out a rectangle and put this more like a picture with this right on top. So if you could envision cutting a square. So if I did that, I would have to come through here, and this would be, and this is what I was getting at a while ago. We'll go ahead and do it just because we can, right? I am a little over, but not too much over. All right, so let's see how much over this is. So if I take the edge of this over, then I have basically a 1/2 inch, right? Is what I'm dealing with. So what I want to do then is I want to come over then, and I already know that I'm going to come up here to 1/2 inch. And this is the beauty of this, is I can sit up here and take this ruler here, and I get my edge right up there, and I'm just going to come down. So this says this is 5 1/4. So a 1/2 inch would be 4 3/4. So I can take this all the way down to 4 3/4 right there, because I've got my little brown mark there. And then I can turn around and rotate this, and we're going to do another 1/2 inch. So this is 4 inches, so I want to go to 3 1/2 inches, so I can easily line this up. You may think this is rocket science. It's not, though, right? Because this little mark lines up real nicely, and I know I'm just going to go right here, and I can line this right up with this right here. So that's the nice thing about this cutting tool, is you can do that. And then I'm going to take it again. I'm going to go 1/2 inch here. And again, I'm just going to take it up to that mark. And then I'm going to take it down to 4 3/4. In case you're wondering, I am standing up, because I do better something like this standing up. And then I'm just going to rotate it again. And we go with our 1/2 inch. And I'm going to just start right there where my line's at, because my blade will line up. And I'm just going to take it to where it lines up right there. Okay? And then that way I just take it out. And it looks like I have to trim this one edge off here a second. So if I want to trim this off and make sure it's a 1/2 inch, it's like my cardstock looks a little bit wider, then that's fine. Okay, I was able to use the inside here on the 1/2 inch line, do it there, and I've got it. Now, so what I was just talking about, let me get my ruler out of the way, my cutter, scorer. So this is what I was talking about when I was looking at this, is I could easily have come up here and put this as a picture up here, which I sort of like that idea, but the only thing now is that it would cover my others, so that really wouldn't work. Okay? So those are just things to look at, but I could have, right? That would have been nice to go and curve the edges. This is just another look. It's just the way we play around with things and learn things and do things. You know, if you never play around with stuff, you never know, right? Then I can just easily come with this. I should have done that firsthand, but that's okay, right? It's not going to matter. I'm just going to hold it in place. And now I've got rounded corners. Now, it still isn't going to help me on what I was trying to do, because it's still too big, right, in comparison to the overall card and what I've done. Because the only way I would use this as a picture frame now is if I would have to switch out my colors, right? I would have to put this up, like here, as a picture frame, and then I would have to change my background, because this is too large. See, these are both the same size, so it's going to cover up the pretty stuff that I already did. But I could just as easily take this, put it on top of here, and get a whole different look, right? Give it a picture frame, like this here, and center it, and put it up on dimensionals, and it would look really nice too. Alright, but I'll save that for another project. Let me just go ahead and finish this up here. But I want to show that to you because it's all about choices, right? It's all about choices. We can always change our minds about things. And this tape goes real easily. Pearlescence has just got a sheen, so the only difference between it and regular paper, the fact that it's got a sheen, is the fact that if you go to stamp on it, you can, but you're going to need your heating tool to dry the ink on low heat because it'll smear otherwise until you give it time to dry. And most of the time we just don't give that things enough time to dry. So alright, and I'm going to put this on, and I can easily do this sideways. See how nice that would look sideways as well as up and down, which I'll do that. I have no dimensionals on here yet, so let's get those dimensionals on here so we can finish this up. I had dimensionals on the other. As soon as I got that one, no paper came off. Alright. Okay, now we'll get this on here, and then all we have to do is a tag, and we're done, right? And we can also add some pearls to this as well, too. So just very simple and elegant. Let's see here for our tags. I did bring some vanilla tags. I tell you, the one I was leaning toward when I first brought these up was this one here. But it may be too big. And it may be too big to put anything here. Let me see if I got anything smaller. This is white. It's not the right color. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to like the tag anywhere because I've got all my artwork here. So that's fine. I can just put my message on the inside. That's not a big deal for me. Or I could just easily just stamp it right there for you. Let's just do that. This is a little backwards because normally I wouldn't do this. And I need to clean my stamp off because it'll go. And we'll tape it off because I just wanted to do for you. So just for you. Let me make sure I don't have any ink on there. Got that clean enough. Alright, so we're going to let that dry a second. And what I'm going to do here, normally I like to get my stamping done first. But originally I thought I was going to use a tag. I had my tags all picked out. I really wanted to use this one. But you can see how that just isn't going to work. It's going to cover up. I could do it there, but it's going to cover up all the work I did there. So I'm not going to cover that up. Alright, but I am going to cover this word up. Because I'm just going to do this one for you. Instead of just for you, I'm just going to do for you. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a post-it note. You could use masking tape as well too. But I am just going to do this right now with this here for you. And I'm not doing the mask on the paper. I'm actually doing it on the stamp, right? Because I'm just going to ink it up. And then I'm pulling that off. And I'm just going to stamp it right there. See, that just looks still elegant. And I can add or do anything else I want. I've got some, I guess I could add if I wanted to, but I'm not. Right now I'm just going to add some pearls. And we're going to call it a day. How about that? So we're just going to add the pearls. That's my leftover stuff. Alright, so we're just going to add these pearls. Oh, there's that pearl from earlier. Stuck to that fuzzy stuff. I'll just a few sides. Alright, so we're just going to do like I did earlier. Okay, now this is a bigger card, so I'm going to go with a little bit bigger pearl. And I can change my mind if I want, right? So my goal is here is I'm just going to go and put a bigger pearl, bigger card. Or I could stay with the small ones. Doesn't matter. But I'm just going to do like I did the other card. That one, the artwork was smaller, so I used the smaller pearls. This one's larger, and I'll show you in a minute so we can compare. And I'm just going to put these on in between. And so that's all. Like I said, we're just doing simple embellishment. We just added some simple ribbon. It coordinates very nicely. And gives it continues with a nice look we were looking for. Nice, elegant look. Okay, and I'm just going to get that moved right there a little bit. Get that where I want it. And see that? You see how it just gives it just a little bit more? Just a little bit more. Okay. I want to add a pearl somewhere else. I'm going to add one more big pearl. You know what? I'm just going to take it and add it up here. Okay. All right, so there we have it. We have keep it simple or step it up. So we'll compare these two here. So both of these cards, all right, we did the same design on the corners, but we used a smaller pearl here because it's smaller. The image is smaller, right? Whereas we enlarged something here. We're going to add Wink of Stella just like we did here, but we just changed things up a little bit, right? And I'm just going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella here. Gives a little shimmer to it. Doesn't change the color, right? We're still monochromatic. All we've done is just, as Sophia and I were talking about the other day, we added some little fairy dust. It's really called Wink of Stella, but it just gives it that extra little sparkle, just like the pearlescent. All right, so don't you think there? So here we go. We started off simple with our simple 3x3 card. We stepped it up by adding ribbon and adding some punching as well too, a little bit different design part there. And this one here, we just stepped it up by adding a little bit more ribbon. We added a couple more layers, and we added the pearls too. So with that, I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's monochromatic can be very beautiful and very elegant. I mean, it's a great way when we get new colors back, like we did back in May, just go make some cards like that because you can just see how simple and pretty it is. But it is always easy, and it is always pretty. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you wouldn't mind sharing with us on Facebook, also YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest. If you want to look at the video anytime, it's out there on YouTube. So we also have Sophia and Nana from Friday, where we did alternative number 2, just sending good thoughts. Check it out if you get a chance. Just fun. You know, it's always encouraging to do things with kids, with children. You know, you can do this as well. I mean, Sophia, from that, she just went out and created some Get Well cards for Aunt Jennifer to help her get feeling better. And so that's what it's all about. It's all about what? Creating, sharing, and giving. So go out and create something and share with somebody and give it away, all right, and make someone's day. Be blessed and look forward to seeing you next week on Keep It Simple or Step It Up. Bye.